But you can't fault the amazingly good micro that Xeon was pulling out of his hat there to win.
No,
that.
I'm not. I'm not faulting,
Yeah.
and you stop being biased.
I'm not
Thank you
being
very
biased.
much.
Anyway, you
You
meant to
are.
introduce Tigerclaw.
Yeah, Tigerclaw. Tigerclaw is a guy that has been playing all the races for the old time I knew him. And he's pretty good with all of the races. For some reason, most of his matchups as Zerg and Terran and in a base race, I do not know why that is, but as a Protoss, he is pretty solid. So knowing all the races, knowing them inside and out, he has a pretty good understanding of timings in all the different matchups and can use that to his advantage because he's just smart like that, and he's spawning at the top position here on Ohana.
Very well introduced for Tigerclaw, both of these
Thank you,
players.
sir.
And I want to see the build that Tigerclaw did last time. It can be played much more aggressively if you get 2 more gateways, and you can just power down your opponent, even if they have 3 or 4 bunkers. Just the sheer killing power of it with 7 to 8 gateways is exceptionally strong.
Well,
but he was more conservative on his gateways. He got his 3rd base, and he just didn't tech fast enough. So either he needs to full out commit to the attack or full out commit to his economy, not go half and half as he was there.
well, I mean, the 3rd Nexus was a good idea, but like I said, he needed to get the AoE out much sooner, and he didn't. That was the only flaw in his gameplay, because he only went for the 3rd Nexus after he saw that his opponent is prepared with 2 bunkers, a full wall of supply depots, and pulled SCVs. For the push he was doing, and I can tell you straight away why Protosses, usually don't like to do these 7, 8 gateway pushes or even 6 gate pushes, like you just described, because they usually hit at a time when stim is almost done, so you have like half a minute to break your opponent. If he's prepared for this and you fail to do so, the next wave of reinforcements with stim is going to drive you away, and once you have no longer any force fields or guardian shields, you just lose the majority of your army and you have no other tech to fall back on. So he just goes in, starts dropping you, or straight up punches you in the face with a counterattack, and you may as well lose the game. It's risky to do that, very risky.
It can be risky, but if you can deny the expansion, which is the primary
Yes.
directive of it, then
It is worth it.
you're
I'm not
exceptionally
saying
far ahead.
Yeah, it is worth it. I'm not saying it isn't, but especially when you don't know your opponent that well and you are not aware of the full extent of his capabilities, it's a risky play, as any kind of all-in is, because from the Protoss perspective, this kind of play is all-in-ish.
Tigerclaw playing a bit more standard this game, getting his expansion before the 2nd gas, but main problem here being the slight supply block. You usually get your 3rd pylon before the Nexus, just to avoid that.
Yeah. And here comes the standard Zealot Stalker poke. He wants to see how many bunkers they are up. He wants to see if there are any marauders. Maybe kill himself a couple of Marines? No?
Nope, no Marines will go down, but a slight bit of damage on the Zealot as well as the bunker.
Yep, and his 3rd unit out of the gateway will be Sentry, which allows him to build 2 additional gateways straight away. And I think he used one Chrono Boost too many on that core, because it's way too far ahead compared to where the gateways are in construction time right now. I really think that this time around Tigerclaw will be going for the more standard robotic-oriented or robo-centric play, just judging by the timing of his 2nd gas and the timing of his gateways and his unit composition. And there is the robo.
Having your 3 gateways and the robo just gives you a good defensive setup. I usually find the robotics facility more as a utility tool with the observer, the warp prism, not so much for making any aggressive unit till the mid to late game when you get the Colossus. I'm not overly fond of the Immortal in the Protoss versus Terran matchup, but it's also interesting to know that the Immortal will kill a Marine in the same amount of hits it will kill a Marauder.
Yeah, that is an interesting fact indeed. One that I never really quite paid attention to, but it kind of explains why the Immortals are a good unit to have in the late game when you have good upgrades and your Colossi are hard countered. So we do have the Forge going down and the Robotics Bay as well, third gas, because you need exactly 3 gases for this play to work. You basically, how it plays out, you hold back in your base, rely on your observer to do all the scouting, and you have a limited number of sentries which you do not want to lose under any circumstances to defend any kind of earlier than 12-minute pushes. Once the 11 to 12-minute push happens inevitably, which is the medevac +1,
yes,
you should have your first 2 Colossi out and range almost done to defend that, and your additional gateways finishing. Now this will go into +1, this Forge, and I will be looking to see additional gateways being thrown down once we hit about 9 and 9:30 on timer.
Usually once you hit the 9-minute mark, you do want to be having at least your second 3 sets of gateways on the way.
Yeah.
So you could bring your number up to 6. Interesting to see he hasn't gone for a second Forge either, just because he's teching so hard into his Colossus. He's not going to have the good upgrades that are usually required to repel all of the attacks that the Terran can have going towards him.
Yep, and you also cannot actually support a second Forge properly if you want to be at the same time defending this push that is coming out right now for Xeon.
Absolutely, and the Observer only just reaching his opponent's base, so Tigerclaw is going to see no units there, and he's going to obviously realize that some sort of attack is going to be coming. The Zealot is going to see it coming into vision now, and he's going to realize what kind of force will be attacking him. He's going to check that it has +1, and this Zealot not getting pulled back is going to be the first casualty of the war here.
Yes, he is. So Xeon drew the first blood. Let me just check that. No, there have been probes and SCVs killed before.
And Xeon actually just pulls back now, which Tigerclaw seemingly misses, but Tigerclaw has finished his +1 attack, so they are on equal footings when it comes to upgrades, sorry.
Yeah, and there was a scan, I do believe, that revealed the composition of Tigerclaw's army. Yes,
yep,
there was.
There was.
So, Xeon is starting Viking production right now, and why do I keep calling him Fluttershy, damn it? Tigerclaw correctly is already transitioning into the Twilight Council tech path, which is what you want to do. Getting that charge straight away, and he'll be looking to take a third base. Oh, that clutch land of the factory just in time to block the probe from building the Nexus. And transition into Templar Storm.
Indeed, and once you got that Templar Storm sort of makeup going, you can just bounce between them as much as you want. I like to apply on the second robo for increased speed on transitioning between them. But fundamentally at this point, one of the main issues is that the drop isn't going in. The army is all out of position so far, and Xeon could be doing so much damage to that drop. He even saw that it was out of position with his factory.
Yeah. So he could have. I mean, the drop is queued up and has been queued up for quite some time. When he pulled back, he loaded up those 2 medevacs. Maybe he's just keeping them for the time when Tigerclaw will actually be pushing, which is happening right now. And Tigerclaw has seen it, of course. Tigerclaw has 5 gates to reinforce this push. Xeon is on 5 barracks, so that's roughly even. But Tigerclaw, only thing he has to do is take care not to lose any of his Colossi very fast. Here comes the Vikings. That's a decent number of Vikings.
And there's only
and we do have some anti-air here.
There
yeah.
The Vikings. The drop is moving up now. Xeon's feeling comfortable. He knows that his opponent is out of position, and the warping has just been used. So it's going to be about 30 seconds till that's available again.
Yeah, he warped in a bunch of zealots at his natural, sending them to the battlefield. What the reaction time will be on. Oh my god, instant warp ends here. of Zealots to take care of this, but some probes will go down regardless after these Zealots are gone, and they will die eventually.
MFCeon yet again showing why he's in Masters League. It's just beautiful to watch. He's going to start... And he's not microing anymore, but he's just losing a few units, gets his opponent into a choke, and now he should be lifting up and pulling out.
Beautiful position on the infantry. He kills 14 probes in all of this, and now he's looking to drop into the natural as well. Those medevacs, one of them go down, and I wouldn't drop this if I were him. Well, he's still trying to get some utility out of these units, but what this did is it allowed him to secure his third base very, very safely. He even catches wind of this proxy pylon. He's going to kill that, and he's going to pressure the Protoss third by himself, looking for some damage, maybe even denial, maybe even a snipe.
And all of the Stalkers are away from the Colossus now. This separation can be very dangerous if the Vikings were to find the Colossus. With only sentry protection, they would start getting munched through very, very happily by those Vikings. And Xeon is starting to secure himself an upgrade advantage. He's on 2-1 now, moving towards 2-2, whilst his opponent has only got 2-1 almost completed.
Yeah, that's because Tigerclaw does not have, or has not have had, or whatever the tense is, this third base up, so he has no access to those minerals. He has an abundance of gas, but what he's really lacking is minerals because he keeps warping in Zealots. What he really needs is a second forge, and oh my god, the Temple Archives have been long overdue. There go the Vikings, kill one of the Colossus. Maybe we'll even get a second one. No, there comes the Bio Army. We are going to have ourselves a fight here.
Down to 3 Colossus, down to 2 Colossus soon. And the engagement is going very well for Xeon. His units are split up, all of the Zealots are down, and there's nothing left. Tigerclaw has...
And there's the GG!
Amazingly played by Xeon with a commanding lead again in these